Guests on Keel heard via the Jack Spring Electric Keel Newsmaker hotline. The latest of those, always great to have. Congressman Mike Johnson with us. Hey, Mr. Mike, welcome back to Keel. How you doing?
Hey, guys, doing well. Good to hear your voices.
Okay, let's start with, it's all over. The impeachment has wrapped up. It's all put to bed until the Democrats, try again. But are you just now going to take a really good nap? What's the plan?
I wish. Well, first question I've had over the last 24 or 48 hours is this indeed the end of impeachment, and are the Democrats going to try again? And I said on national television last night at Fox News that I had just left the floor of the House chamber and heard colleagues, Democrat colleagues, who, you know, some of these folks are friends of mine, trusted folks, but they are just dug in, Robert. They are absolutely committed to impeachment, and I can count, and I could name, if pressed, some who are going to, you know, begin it again immediately. They want endless inquisition, investigation, ultimately impeachment.
When you went to Washington, we were already to some degree a divided nation on party lines. But now that you're there, has the adamance, no, let me say the blind with hatred and fury and rage toward this president, it had to have surprised even you, sort of a grizzled political vet, right?
It did, and it's something that all of us should be deeply concerned about. I mean, it's an absolutely toxic environment in Washington right now, and you know, some people like that. Some people like the cage match aspect of this, and it's like another UFC fight, you know. But at the end of the day, what's so deeply concerning about this is that we have to operate the government. I mean, we're a republic. I mean, I say this all the time. I get tired of talking about it, but we can't presume that people understand some of these basics anymore. In a republic, remember, we removed the king. That's what the American Revolution was all about. And we said, we're going to be a government of, by, and for the people ourselves. We're going to self-govern. Guys, this, as you guys know, this is an experiment. A constitutional republic is an experiment on the world stage. We're the oldest that's ever been in existence, and the only one of its kind like this. And the only way that this can survive, the only way we can keep the republic, as the founders warned us, is that if you have people who are willing to work together. Now, we're never going to compromise our core principles. I mean, I'm the leader of the Republicans in the House, the Republican Study Committee, the largest caucus in Congress. I'm never going to compromise core conservative principles, but I have to be willing to work with people on the other side and sometimes give in on some of my preferences in order to keep the ball moving forward for the country. And when we lose the ability to do that on both sides, we're in serious trouble, because it is at the center of what makes our government work. And that's the deep concern we have.
Mike. I'm not going to tell you, and I don't know if you listened. You probably are too busy. But I have never been more angry at what I saw than when I saw Nancy Pelosi rip up the speech. I don't agree with a lot of the things the president does, but he is our president. Love him, hate him, disagree, agree. When I saw that, I thought, I am so over this, and I cursed, but I won't say it today. You're now saying she may have actually committed a crime in doing that? Explain.
So look, you know, her dramatic facial expressions and the eye rolling and all that was enough. I mean, that was enough. But she clearly violated the rules of decorum and all the traditions of civility in the House, and, you know, more than 2 centuries of stoic facial expressions by speakers of the House who always sit over the shoulder of the president, even when they're opposing party. They don't make, they're like the Supreme Court justices in a State of the Union. They're supposed to sit there stoically because you respect the office. And when you sit there as the Speaker of the House, you don't represent yourself, you don't represent your party, you represent the entire body, right? But Nancy Pelosi crossed that Rubicon. And when she did it, she not only violated rules and traditions, she violated statutory law. There's this provision that's rarely used in the federal code, 18 U.S.C. 2071, and it makes it a crime to willfully mutilate, obliterate, or destroy any record or document that's filed or deposited with any public officer of the United States. When the President of the United States hands over that original signed copy of the State of the Union ceremonially to the House Speaker and one to the Senate by way of the Vice President, who's the President of the Senate, those are the original. That is the quintessential official public copy that belongs to the House, not to Nancy Pelosi. It's not her private, property that she can dispose of however she sees fit. She hands it off after and this has been done for, more than 200 years. After the speech, the address is delivered, she hands the copy to the House clerk, who then puts it in a safe for safekeeping until the end of that Congress, which is the end of the 2 years. At that point, then, it is carefully transmitted to the National Archives for storage in the big safe where all the other State of the Unions, the original documents, are kept. She ripped it up. And so, look, it was not only just outrageous and crazy and took all the escalation and the virility here to a new level, it violated the law. And people say, what does it mean? Well, that statute, Aaron, you can be imprisoned for not more than 3 years.
Oh, we're not going to lock up the House Speaker. Come on, Mike.
We're not going to lock her up. But it also says, shall, anybody guilty of that, shall forfeit their public office and be disqualified from holding any office under the United States.
I like that part.
It's serious.
I like that part.
It's serious. Now, am I under any illusion that some U.S. attorney or the Department of Justice even is going to go get Pelosi and arrest her and do all this? No, and I'm not advocating for that. But the reason I'm pointing this out, and the reason I wrote a 4-page legal memo that everybody can go read for themselves, judge for yourself, it's on my Facebook and Twitter, Rep. Mike Johnson. Go check it out. Mm-hmm. It's red letter law. It's on its face a violation of the law. Why does it matter? Because for goodness sakes, we have to restore the rule of law around here. It has to apply. You can't run roughshod over due process of the president, do a sham impeachment. You can't engage in all these partisan vendettas by way of using our institution, because it is eroding the people's faith in that institution, and that is the greatest concern at the end of the day.
On the other hand, the president acquitted by the Senate, so basically the impeachment deal is all done. He has a speech, a great speech yesterday, Trump at his Trumpist, and he calls out various members of his defense team, you among them, and he said, as he lauded you, as he praised you, straight from central casting. Of all the compliments you have ever received in your life, did you ever anticipate one like that? What do you think he meant?
Well, it's right up there with Aaron McCarty's accolade that said she wanted to play kickball with me. So I'm not sure which one is more memorable. But no, it was great. It was a great, nod of appreciation. I'm humbled by it. It's all surreal for me. You guys, I'm a kid that grew up in Southwest Shreveport, and this makes a lot of sense. And I don't know how, I was on the defense team and I was honored to do it, but just crazy times. We live in crazy times. And the president was right to spike the football a little bit, because as he explained, he and his family have been put through hell. They really have. Every day the man gets up, he's attacked from almost all sides. And it's a relentless attack. And, I want him to be magnanimous and gracious and extend the hand of Christian charity and love and friendship and forgiveness, and let's try to move the country forward. But it's very difficult for him to do, because even when he does that, they're attacking him, And so it just, again, it goes back. It's a symptom of where we are right now, that the country is in a really serious place. And I'm individually talking to members on both sides, trying to get a coalition of leaders together, to try to stop this, to try to turn the dial back a little bit so we can govern. And it's increasingly difficult to do that.